of leftover paint, open the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Feel a vibration in your steering wheel at highway speeds? That's not something to ignore, and a standard tire balance might not fix it. At G&H Tires and Service, they offer Road Force Balancing, an advanced system that simulates how your tire actually performs on the road to detect hidden issues. It goes beyond traditional balancing to reduce vibration, improve handling, and extend the life of your tires. Newer vehicles, especially with low-profile tires, demand this level of precision. Drive smoother. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard, where your ride gets dialed in right.
He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Jared Justice. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. A Thursday evening that finds us already at the end of the work week for me. What an exhausting week it's been, right? Took Monday and Tuesday off. Gave it all I had last night out at Twin Peaks for the United States and Bosnia, and we will certainly get into that. Got a jam-packed show for you this evening, and then that's it for the 4th of July holiday. Hope everybody enjoys their 4th of July holiday out there. Most people are off tomorrow, and then, of course, we will celebrate 250 years on Saturday with July 4th. A lot of NFL conversation tonight. Our AFC West preview will round itself out. We will make stops in Denver and in Las Vegas. Last night, we made stops in LA and Kansas City. So we kind of jammed the AFC West in because we got to get moving on this thing. We got 3 divisions to go, and that leads up to the start of Jaguar training camp at the end of July, 1 division per week. So tonight we will go out to Las Vegas. Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal to give us the latest on the Raiders offseason. And we will also go to Denver. Andrew Mason of 104.3 and denversports.com to get the latest on what the Broncos have done and on their outlook for 2026. But as you can imagine, a whole lot of conversation about the United States and Bosnia in the FIFA World Cup, where the United States goes from here. JJ LaSelva, the host of the 1010XL Soccer Show, will join us coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. And I got a whole lot of thoughts about that soccer from last night. The TV ratings are in and what all of it means moving forward. So glad to be back with you. Glad to be back in studio. Glad to be back with Jared Justice. It's been a little while. Again, coming back from your old stomping grounds, Las Vegas, Nevada. Good time had by all, but back in the studio tonight, and certainly be glad to be back with you guys until 10 o'clock this evening. Every night on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Jared Justice, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
All right, back here on Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. The big deal of the evening is the United States soccer. U.S. and Bosnia last night, it was incredible. Being out at Twin Peaks, watching that atmosphere, it was absolutely sensational. And we were certainly not the only ones watching it. The TV ratings for last night are in. And according to the numbers that I have, Fox averaged last night 24.4 million viewers. 24.4 million. They peaked at 31.9 million viewers, which is the most watched soccer telecast in the English language in United States history. History's a long time, right? The last time I checked, when you talk about history of something, that's a long time. And for a network in the United States of America to have more viewers last night watching a soccer match than any other match in the history of the sport, I think that says something. I mean, you look at the watch parties that were all over the place. You look at everything that transpired, and it was absolutely sensational. And the best part was the United States won. So now the party can keep going. Monday night up in Seattle against Belgium. We will certainly talk about that in a moment. But the U.S., for only the second time in the history of the FIFA World Cup, in men's soccer, again, the women have been very successful, but on the men's side, the United States only won their second knockout game ever last night. The first one was in 2002 against Mexico, but as we talked about last night, that World Cup back in 2002 was played in South Korea. That was like a 5 a.m. East Coast kick between the United States and Mexico. Last night, you had everything you needed. You had a winner go home, prime time, middle of the week time slot. And again, it just absolutely worked to perfection. The United States wins. What does that mean? Well, it means Monday night, they play Belgium. Belgium is the team that knocked out the United States back in the 2014 FIFA World Cup in the round of 16. In fact, I believe that was the last time the United States, I believe, got out of the group stage because they didn't even make it in 2018. But I remember watching that 2014 game between Belgium and the United States. And what's interesting is a lot of guys that played for Belgium in 2014 that beat the United States are still on the Belgium roster. Their goalie that the U.S. is going to go up against Monday night is the same goalie they went up against 12 years ago in 2014. A couple of the best players, including Lukaku, who scored yesterday for Belgium, he scored the winning goal to beat the United States in 2014. So it's just interesting that Belgium, very good, don't get me wrong, very good, and we're going to talk about them with JJ LaSelva coming up here in a moment, but they're kind of on the older side. Now, they got some good young talent. It's not all old guys, but there are quite a few guys that are in their third or even their fourth World Cups for Belgium, whereas the United States is loaded with young guys. Outside of Christian Pulisic and Tim Ream, I mean, you got guys that are very, very young that are getting thrown into the fire pretty quick here in this FIFA World Cup. Of course, the big story, Balogun cannot play with the red card last night. You know, obviously Americans are upset about what happened with that red card. Former U.S. soccer players that I've heard are upset with what happened with that red card. But I thought it was even more interesting today listening to former international players that are not Americans. You know, Thierry Henry out of France and a couple of guys from Spain. I was listening to a couple of podcasts with some former England guys on it that I saw online. And everybody was talking about basically, I'm going to use the term bologna sausage because that's the only BS I can use on this program. Bologna sausage, BS, what that call was. And look, there's nothing you can really do about it. FIFA doesn't exactly have an appeal process like they do in a lot of other sports. I think they do, but it very, very rarely ever works. The bottom line is, bad call or not, Balogun's going to be out on Monday night. So you have to figure it out, right? And here's what I'm going to say. Now, we're going to be on live on Monday during this game. So this is going to be my only time to talk about it before the game kicks off. What do you notice in this World Cup? When England needs something to happen, yesterday, who do they go to? They go to Kane, right? Their veteran, their leader, and he comes through for them. You look at what Messi's doing for Argentina. You look at what Haaland's doing for Norway. Ronaldo recently for Portugal. You know, Mbappe for France. You can go on down the line of these guys that are Mr. Countrymen for their given country, and they are delivering in this World Cup. Who have we really not heard from, at least on the score sheet, in the first 4 games? Christian Pulisic, right? Everybody's talking about Balogun. Everybody's talking about Malik Tillman's free kick last night. Everybody's talking about this player and that player. And while Pulisic has done some nice things, while Pulisic has set up a couple of opportunities and, in fact, scored last night, but he was offside, he has not officially scored yet in this FIFA World Cup. If he is the guy that we all believe he is as the best player on the roster, he needs to do what Harry Kane's doing for England and what Lionel Messi's doing for Argentina and what Cristiano Ronaldo's doing for Portugal and what Mbappe's doing for France and what Haaland's doing for Norway. The best players on each of these teams are stepping up to the plate in the biggest moments and delivering. And we need to have a Christian Pulisic game on Monday against Belgium. Belgium's good. There's a lot of people that are going to pick Belgium to win. I might pick Belgium to win. My biggest fear on Monday night is if the United States goes down 1-0, how are they going to respond? Because what has not happened in a game that has mattered in this World Cup? They scored in the first 10 minutes against Paraguay. They scored in the first 12 minutes against Australia. They scored at the end of the first half last night against Bosnia. Even Turkey, they scored first in a meaningless game before they finally fell behind. But again, in a meaningless game, games of any substance, games where they knew they needed to win that were not, quote, meaningless, Paraguay, Australia, Bosnia, the United States has had leads in all of those games. Whereas you look at Belgium as a prime example, Belgium, who they play Monday night, was down 2-0 with 10 minutes to go in their World Cup yesterday. Senegal had them beat. But I talk about the old guys on Belgium, the guys that have been there for 3 or 4 World Cups. They didn't panic. They not only scored once, they scored twice to force it to extra time. They were awarded a penalty, and they eliminated Senegal, coming back from 2-0 down when they were down late in the second half. Belgium wouldn't panic if they're trailing. The United States, again, a lot of young guys that have never really been in this position before. An overwhelming majority of the team has not been in this position before. And if they were to go down 1-0, then I wonder what's going to happen. But certainly it is going to be a heck of an atmosphere. Look, if 31.9 million people watched the game last night in the round of 32, that number is only going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger as we go along. Can you imagine Monday night in this country, coming off a 4th of July weekend where our nation celebrates its 250th birthday, and the United States of America has a chance for only the second time in the history of men's soccer to make it to the quarterfinals of a FIFA World Cup? Can you imagine that atmosphere in Seattle? Can you imagine how many people are going to watch said game on Monday night? And just the environment all over, sports bars, watering holes, watch parties, everywhere in this country. I'll tell you this. We've had the Summer Olympics here. We've had the Winter Olympics here. We've had unbelievable global sporting events here, the 94 World Cup as well. And maybe it's recency bias. Maybe I'm just a creature of the moment right now. But man, this to me feels like the biggest global sporting event that we've ever had here in our country. You look at all of these stadiums, you look at how packed these places are, you look at the television numbers, you look at the 24-hour sports news cycle, and you look at the best players in the world that are delivering in this country. Lionel Messi, Haaland of Norway, Kane of England, Mbappe of France, Ronaldo, go on down the line. The best players in the world are playing like the best players in the world on our home soil in the biggest World Cup that FIFA's ever had. They've never had 48 teams until this year. The stadiums are packed. The energy has been electric. The television viewing is through the roof. I'm not so sure if this isn't the biggest global sporting event that we have ever had. And with the United States' success, man alive, can you imagine if they were to win on Monday night, if they were advanced to the quarterfinals and potentially set up a date with either Spain or Portugal? Because that would be the likely outcome. Spain's already advanced. I believe they get the winner of Portugal and Croatia in the round of 16. We'll see what happens. That game is scoreless right now at halftime. But can you imagine if Portugal wins? You got Spain and Portugal on one side. One of them would be guaranteed to play the United States if the USA beats Belgium. And if I don't want to get too far ahead here because obviously a lot needs to happen, and I'm not so sure the U.S. is going to beat Belgium anyway. But one can dream big for a moment. Can you imagine a quarterfinal in the United States of America in the FIFA World Cup between the United States of America and Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal? Holy crap. That would be amazing. And by the way, this is not a U.S. thing. Let me tell you what else is going to be amazing. Sunday night. I don't know what you're doing on Sunday night, maybe recovering from a long 4th of July weekend, but mark something on your calendar. You realize England and Mexico are going at it at Stadium Azteca in Mexico City? You got England and Mexico in Mexico City on Sunday night in the round of 16 with the winner going to the quarters of the FIFA World Cup. If Messi keeps winning, if Ronaldo keeps winning, if France keeps winning, oh, by the way, Brazil is still involved. It has been electric. It has been outstanding. It has been everything we could have hoped for in the sports radio world, in the sports fandom world. It has been nothing short of spectacular. But for the big, big party to keep going, that's going to take a United States victory on Monday night against Belgium up in Seattle. Payback, 12 years in the making. I remember watching Belgium beat the United States in extra time. I believe that was one of those 120-minute games. By the way, I did look this up last night just for keeping the back of your mind. We all know that in the FIFA World Cup now, win or go home, they go to those penalty shootouts. They've played a lot of FIFA World Cups. I mean, we're talking about 100 years worth of FIFA World Cups every 4 years, 25, 26, however many there's been. The United States of America has never, not one time, participated in a penalty shootout in the FIFA World Cup. The ladies have. We remember Brianna Scurry at the Rose Bowl in 99 when the U.S. beat China. On the women's side, they've experienced penalty shootouts in the World Cup, but on the men's side, never. Not once. Penalty shootouts are stressful for me when it's two obscure countries I know nothing about. I couldn't imagine how I would be watching a penalty shootout involving the United States of America, say Monday night against Belgium, considering it has never happened for U.S. men's soccer in the history of the FIFA World Cup. But let's talk about all of it. The United States, the red card, the event that it has been, with a guy that I think has just done a simply outstanding job covering it for us. His name is JJ LaSelva. He is the host of the 1010XL Soccer Show. He does an instant reaction every time the United States plays. I watched his instant reaction last night. I thought it was fantastic. We'll talk about Belgium. We'll talk about the win over Bosnia, and we will talk about the event that has been the 2026 FIFA World Cup to this point. With Jared Justice, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you're with us on a Thursday night here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
Professional radio broadcasters.
Hey, sorry.
Dinner dozen gifts. A diner dozen.
That is awful.
So Cole.
I was flowing real good, then wasn't it?
You've got to be kidding me.
Professional, for crying out loud.
Who wrote this?
1010XL.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
You trusted a medical professional with your care. When that trust is broken, the results can be devastating. Medical error can leave patients and families facing unanswered questions and lifelong challenges. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggets helps you understand and protect your legal rights after medical negligence. No fees unless you recover damages. We're here to help. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
For a lot of workplaces, the work week doesn't end on Friday. That's why there's EasyCater, the best way to order food from favorite restaurants for your hardworking team, even on weekends. With EasyCater, you'll find great options for any group size and any shift, with tools to help meet dietary needs, stay on budget, and simplify expenses, all backed by our award-winning 24/7 support. EasyCater, your Monday through Sunday workplace food platform. Start an order for your weekend crew at easycater.com.
Prosser here. Who are you? Really? 1010XL wants to know. Just by filling out the listener survey on 1010XL.com, you could win Jags tickets to the home opener, Gator football tickets, Jumbo Shrimp tickets, and more. All you have to do is tell us more about you. Fill out the 1010 listener survey at 1010XL.com. What kind of vehicles do you drive? Are you a business owner? What part of 1010XL do you like the most? We want to get to know you better so we can serve you better. Go to 1010XL.com, fill out the survey, and you could be a winner.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The round of 16, Monday night in Seattle, and the United States of America is still standing. They will take on Belgium in what will be a rematch from a round of 16 contest 12 years ago at the FIFA World Cup back in 2014. Let's talk about the victory over Bosnia. Let's preview Belgium on Monday night, and let's look big picture at what we've seen in the World Cup to this point with JJ Waselva. Of course, you hear him as part of XL Primetime. He's also a part of the Frangie Show, and he is the host of the 1010XL Soccer Show, which is gaining in popularity as the hours and days go by. JJ, you're the busiest guy on the station today, my friend. How are you?
I love it, Hack. I would want it no other way, man. This has been a great run by the team, and thank you for having me on, man. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, really enjoyed your reaction show last night. Of course, JJ does the 1010XL Soccer Show during the week. We'll tell you when and where to find it, but he always does a reaction show immediately after each United States game. JJ, a lot to dive into after last night, but first and foremost, it's a win. It's a knockout win, and it's only the second knockout win in the FIFA World Cup in the history of U.S. Men's soccer. What was your reaction to the victory one night ago?
Oh, my gosh. Well, first of all, I already know Twin Peaks was rocking last night.
Oh, my goodness, man. It was packed in there.
Good. I mean, seeing some of the videos from around the nation, like all the watch parties and everything, has really, really been awesome. So yeah, last night, I mean, emotions up, down, every which way. You get that score right before halftime, which is like the quintessential time to score in a soccer match. All the momentum's on your side. You're thinking, hey, when we get back out there in the second half, we're going to jump all over them, knowing Bosnia is going to have to open up their play more. We're going to be pouring in the goals after that. We're going to win 3-0. It's going to be smooth sailing, easy peasy. Not exactly what happened. Obviously, controversial. I believe that we got screwed on the red card. And then the boys just really, really showed heart last night, man. They did not complain about the red for too long. They put their heads down. They knew we're going to just have to defend our butts off for the rest of the game here to get through. And that's exactly what they did. They finally started to press more and get out of their low block and play a little bit more passing offensive football with about 20 minutes left in the game. And it was great to see. We were still creating scoring opportunities even with 10 men late in the game, and that eventually got the free kick on the edge of the box set up by Dest. And then Malik Tillman walks up, man, with the entire nation watching. We needed this goal so bad, man. And for him to place it perfectly in the corner like that, I will remember that goal my entire life. One of the coolest U.S. goals in history for me.
Yeah, to that point, JJ, and I want to get to Bow again. There's a lot I want to get to with you, but to the Malik Tillman goal, look, I don't know if it's Landon Donovan in 2010, but outside of that one, boy, I can't think of a much more memorable goal in the World Cup for the U.S. in the last quarter century.
Absolutely. I would shout out to Winalda, who scored a free kick, which was the last free kick the U.S. has scored in the World Cup in '94 in the opening round game. But, it was a group stage game. It was a draw against Switzerland. The importance of this can't be I'm telling you, if we wouldn't have scored that goal, we would have given up a goal. That was just the feeling I had throughout the second half. There was still so much time left. It was the 82nd minute, but really you saw how much extra time they put on. There was still 20 minutes left in that game. And we would have had to survive 20 minutes with a 1-goal lead down 10 men. And then if we give up a goal, we would have had to survive 30 more minutes of extra time with 10 men. We were in a really, really, really terrible place, man. And then for Malik to bail us out, yeah, for me, that Donovan goal was huge. But this is right there, up there with that one, man. Spectacular.
JJ Wasilva, the host of the 1010XL Soccer Show. Quickly, JJ, the analogy that was being used last night by some folks at Twin Peaks, and I don't know, you tell me, is 11 versus 10 in soccer pretty similar to a hockey power play? Is that what the United States is going up against?
Yeah, that's a perfect example. I think maybe, like I was saying earlier on XL Primetime today, imagine if after a targeting call in college football, not only does the guy get knocked out for the rest or kicked out of the rest of the game, but you just had to play with 10 men.
Wow.
It's crazy, man. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's quite at that level as a football game, maybe American football, but yeah, hockey on a power play. And you could see immediately after we got that red card, our attitude, our players instantly dropped back into a defensive posture. We let Bosnia have the ball, and Bosnia could feel our energy, and they were going for it. So that 15-20 minute period right after the red card was so important for us to just put our head down and defend, and they did that, man. They showed so much heart. That is so hard to do, just constantly running without the ball. And Poch, man, he just kept all the starters in until the 90th minute. So those guys, particularly Pulisic, who hasn't played a full 90 minutes since mid-March with his club team, for him to just give it all out there like that, it was really special, man.
JJ, let's get to the red card. Obviously, a ton of opinions on this. Most of them think the call was crap. I think you basically echo that sentiment. Here's the one thing I'll say. Replay is great in sports, and I applaud it in 99% of cases. Replay last night is why Balogun got the red card. In real time, it doesn't look bad. When you super slow-mo it, it looked terrible. And I know a lot of people today have made the point that FIFA did something last night that VAR is not intended to do. When you go super slow-mo on that thing, it looks worse and worse and worse. But that's not what VAR was designed to do.
Yeah, it's supposed to, that VAR, when you just slow it down and you show like these still images, you're not showing the full context of the play. And to me, the refs knew the full context of the play. I mean, who are we kidding? But it was clear that they were using this. They saw, hey, we could use this as an excuse to give them a red card. Like, to me, that was clear as day. They used the rules to their advantage to somehow finagle their way into giving us a red card. To me, the worst part about it is the context of the game. In the game, Bosnia had been fouling like crazy. Okay, like I'm talking on the sideline, shirt pulling when Pulisic is in a dangerous position, like stuff that would be a yellow card 10 out of 10 times. Okay, not only wasn't it a yellow card, sometimes he wasn't even calling the foul. So the entire game, everything was kind of, no yellows for either team. And then all of a sudden, for a 50-50 challenge, you give a straight red like that. I thought it was a disgrace, man. And, just because VAR calls you to the monitor and slows it down and tells you what decision they think you can make, that doesn't mean the ref has to make that decision. The ref could have stayed with his original opinion that it wasn't a red card, but no, and I hope, honestly, there's some sort of punishment for that guy, maybe not ref the rest of the tournament or something like that, because honestly, I thought, I knew that all the Americans would be upset about it, but this morning, listening to some podcasts from English people who aren't cheering for America, they all have the same opinion as us. It was just a total crap call. And it's going to cost us next game, too, not having Balogun.
It is what it is. Now let's get to that next game against Belgium. I think you and I even talked about this off air. Belgium in 2014 beat the United States, and that goalie that was in that game in 2014 is still the goalie they have today.
Courtois.
Yeah.
Courtois,
Lukaku is still there. That's the guy that beat us in 2014. He's still there. I've heard a lot about the Belgian golden generation, 8, 12 years ago. Well, it might not be the golden generation anymore, but it's the same guys that are just old, and they've looked old at certain moments here. How good is Belgium? And you know that United States roster as well as anybody, not having Balogun, I mean, that's the reality. What do you do if you're the coaching staff to replace him?
So first, before I get to Belgium, I'll answer that question first. So Ricardo Pepi, it looks like he's going to be just a like-for-like replacement. We brought him in later in the game yesterday, but he got most of his minutes this tournament in the Turkey match, which was the match that we played all of our backups in because we already clinched. He looked terrible in that game, and I was really negative on him. But then last night when he comes in, we didn't necessarily need him to score or, or as a finisher or anything, because at that point we were up 2-0. We just needed him to keep the ball, play 1-2s with the wingers, and hold the ball up. And he was spectacular at that. I thought he was really good last night. The problem is, he is not anywhere as close speed-wise as Balogun, and we're going to have to play a completely different style than we have been against Belgium. So most of this tournament, we've been playing teams that are ultra defensive. Belgium's going to be going. They're going to try to attack just like we are. So there's going to be a lot of open space. We're going to have to play on the counterattack. And unfortunately, we don't have Balogun's speed, which would have been really helpful. But honestly, I think Pepe's going to be, he's obviously going to be motivated and up for this. He's scores lots of goals for his club. So I think we'll be all right. Honestly, I think we'll be all right. And now for Belgium. Yes, Belgium there is still some of those 2014 guys. I even think De Bruyne was probably on that team in 2014. So, yeah, the Lukakus, the De Bruynes, the Courtois are all a lot older. Lukaku's nowhere even close to the player he once was. But this guy can still score. He's still a huge athlete. They usually bring him in later in the game at this point. He doesn't have like 90 minutes in his legs anymore. And you saw at the end of that Senegal game, they're down 2-0 in the 85th minute and score 2 goals in like 2 minutes. I think it was less than 2 minutes they scored 2 goals. So they still have some firepower on offense. I'll give you a guy that is going to give us fits, and he's going to keep me up all weekend thinking about him. Doku. So he's like a left winger for them. He plays for Manchester City. He's one of the fastest, best dribblers in the entire World Cup. I really am scared to see like him on a wing with like Ream isolated. So hopefully our boy Freeman, who to me has been like one of the new guys that I didn't know too much about, this kid Freeman who plays right back, he's going to be really important. Like Freeman versus Doku is the matchup to watch. But I'm just going to be real with you. I think Belgium beats us. But I wouldn't be shocked in the least bit if we win. Like any result to me wouldn't be shocking. I think both these teams are pretty even, honestly. But Belgium they have that veteran. They have, if they go down 1 goal, they're not going to freak out. They have veterans who have been there and done that. They finished 3rd place, I believe, in the 2018 World Cup. This is a team that always goes far. I will be interested to see what happens if we go down a goal. What kind of attitude are we going to have if we go down earlier in the game? We haven't really seen that in a game that matters yet. So I'm picking Belgium, but honestly, for all the listeners, don't listen to guys like me. Like, you can win. We can win this. Just keep the hope alive. Like these guys need this energy. It's been fantastic, and there's no reason to not think we can't beat Belgium.
Final moments with JJ Waselva. JJ, as we wrap up, one thing that I wanted to ask you, you look at the teams that are left. When England needs a goal, Kane delivers. You mentioned Lukaku with Belgium when they needed a goal. We've seen what Messi has done for Argentina, what Ronaldo has started to do for Portugal. Obviously, Mbappe for France. I mean, the best players on these teams are stepping up. Monday night needs to be Christian Pulisic's game, does it not?
I'm so glad you said that. I'll throw another guy in there. Holland, by the way, scored a game winner for Norway.
Yeah.
He's their star. Yes. I mean, you can tell in these games, there's certain moments when earlier in the game yesterday, when Pulisic gets the ball and he has options to pass on this particular play I'm talking about, but he ripped it right at net. Like, you can tell that he is under pressure from himself. Like, he wants to score. So I don't necessarily love him being like a little selfish, because the best part of his game is being a playmaker and getting other people involved. But yes, I agree with you. I think we need a Pulisic goal on Monday. He is our best player. Balogun's been our best player in the tournament, but honestly, like overall, Pulisic is our best player, and we need him to play like that. And if we get a Pulisic goal on Monday, yes, I definitely think we'll win this game.
You are a soccer guy, one of the biggest soccer guys that I know. This World Cup has had to have been everything you could have hoped for in this country, correct?
Oh, way more than I expected. I mean, I was so negative going into the tournament, first of all, about our national team. There was just tons of negativity going into the tournament. I wasn't sure who we were going to have as starters, how many guys, who would play where. In the warm-up matches, we got killed in the 2 March games. But then, like, the week before the tournament, we played well against Germany and things started to look up. And then you also hear just about the tournament at large, like, oh, the ticket sales, they're not good. The prices are outrageous. All the stuff with the Iran national team and, like, politics was getting involved. And I'm just like, dang, are we about to have, like, a bust as a World Cup in America? I've been looking forward to this for years. And then, wouldn't you know it, the crowds are packed. Every single game is packed. The energy is awesome. The games have been fantastic. And then the 3 host nations, Canada, Mexico, and the U.S., are all into the round of 16. So, like, it's just been and here's one last thing that makes it a great tournament. All the stars, all those guys you just named, they're all performing at the top of their game. You never see that in a major tournament like this for, like, all the stars, the Messis, the Mbappes, the Kanes, even Ronaldo has a couple goals. Like, everybody that is a star is acting like a star on the world stage in America in front of everybody. So, yeah, this has been the coolest 3 weeks in a while, man. It's been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to more. The games are only going to get more important and better.
JJ, tell us about the 1010XL soccer show and, of course, your reaction Monday night immediately following the United States and Belgium.
Yeah, if you want to go watch my reaction from last night, it's on 1010XL's YouTube. You just click on the live icon. It'll be right there. If you go to Twitter, it's on there from last night. We got tons of people watching the last few games. And on Monday, immediately after the game, win, lose, or draw, we'll be doing it again live on 1010XL's YouTube and Twitter. So come join me. Hopefully we'll be talking about another dub and on to the quarterfinals.
1010XL's JJ LaSelva. JJ, I know you're very busy today. Thank you, man. We'll talk again soon, pal.
No, thank you for having me on, dude.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Have you tried a Form energy drink yet? You need to, and it's available at Gate. 4 great tastes, screaming free to Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and Grape Smash. Form energy, natural flavors, natural caffeine, and electrolytes for hydration are a perfect blend for energy and mental focus. Find it at Gate.
Tommy Mac here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fogged, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name for glass and mirror. It's Duval.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
Celebrate America's birthday with Kuhn flowers in July. JJ LaSelva here. Purchase a dozen roses in any color for just $49.95. Just $49.95 for a dozen roses. Log on to KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. We will take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every evening. We have some drama developing in the FIFA World Cup. Croatia has just scored in what they thought was to take the lead after Portugal tied the match. Cristiano Ronaldo hits a penalty to tie it. Croatia on a breakaway thinks they scored to go up 2-1. The offside flag did come up, so it is still tied 1-1 Portugal and Croatia in the 80th minute. We are 10 minutes away from extra time. Cristiano Ronaldo, again, has scored. It's his first goal in a World Cup knockout match, which I thought was pretty interesting. First goal in a World Cup knockout match for Cristiano Ronaldo. He's actually being subbed out right now in the 81st minute of a 1-1 game. Again, Portugal and Croatia, the winner of this game will play Spain. If you want to start dreaming big, the winner of Spain and this match plays the winner of the United States and Belgium in the quarterfinals. So theoretically, United States wins on Monday night, they would then either get Spain or they would get Cristiano Ronaldo in Portugal or potentially Croatia, depending on what happens with this game. First things first, you got to beat Belgium, but you know you're going to see another European country in the quarterfinals if you get past Belgium. We'll keep you updated. Again, 1-1, Portugal, Croatia, 82nd minute. Ronaldo has scored, but he has just been substituted out in the 81st minute of a 1-1 game. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. I think JJ LaSelva has done a terrific job covering the World Cup for us here on 1010XL. That soccer show on 1010XL social media platforms is absolutely fantastic. And that JJ LaSelva interview was your cornerstone interior solutions interview of the evening. Look, if your air conditioning is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling my friends at Cornerstone Interior Solutions to upgrade to spray foam insulation. Spray foam seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, and more, locking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Call my friends at Cornerstone Interior Solutions, 904-540-4572, or visit my friends at Cornerstone Interior Solutions.com. A lot of great sporting events coming up over the 4th of July. We're right in basically the midpoint, a little past the midpoint of Major League Baseball. We know NBA free agency has been wild. Will we get some clarity on LeBron's situation? We'll certainly talk more about that. The World Cup is in full swing. But Jared Justice, we have a hot dog eating contest on Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, it is maybe the grossest thing on television year in and year out. Yet every year at high noon, whether it's on ESPN or ESPN2, I find myself tuning in to Coney Island for the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest. Back in the day, and I think he still lives here locally, one of the guys that used to compete in this and was on the Major League Eating circuit, Hall Hunt, we would have him on to talk about the preparation of the Major League Eating circuit. Everybody talks about the Nathan's Famous hot dog contest, right? But what people don't know, or at least some people don't know, is Major League Eating is just that. I mean, it is a Major League Eating organization. They travel the country doing these things. And everybody knows about Joey Chestnut, but I just wanted to throw a couple other things at you that are very gross, but I also find them very interesting. Like Patrick Burritelli is ranked second right now to Joey Chestnut in Major League Eating. His personal best on his record is back in 2007. He ate 42 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in 10 minutes. He also polished off 7.5 pounds of fried catfish in 10 minutes time. So he's the catfish eating champion and the peanut butter and jelly eating champion. You got Jeffrey Esper, who's ranked third. They have ratings and rankings for all these people. Jeffrey Esper, 39.9 sloppy joes in 8 minutes. Oh my gosh. 76.3 2-ounce bratwursts at an Oktoberfest in 2022. Also 281 buffalo chicken wings in 12 minutes time in September 1st of 2019. And I'll just give you one more. Nick Weary is ranked 6th. He's from Tampa. And all of these guys, amazingly enough, are in really good shape. They're all in really good shape. Nick Weary from Tampa, 50 hard-boiled eggs in about 3 minutes back in April of 2021. Now, Jared Justice, I ask you, if there were to be a Major League Eating contest that you could not win, obviously, but if you could, I guess, hold your own in, what is like your favorite thing to eat or to snack on where you might have a chance of putting up some sort of number in one of these contests?
I mean, I famously, like upsettingly so to my friends and family, am a I don't eat Like, I eat very, very small portions, and then they're like, why did you order so much food? The only thing I could possibly think of is if it's been a long, long time since I ate, I could go to town on, like, pulled pork.
Oh, pulled pork. And there are one of these guys, I read this earlier, there was a pulled pork eating competition. I'll try to get you the numbers on those. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, 120 pounds ago, maybe I might have had a better chance at something like this. But my thing is, and not to get too like morbid here, how we've never seen somebody like choke to death on national television when you're shoving 74 hot dogs and hot dog buns in your mouth in 10 minutes. I mean, the idea of doing that is, like, again, insanely gross. Yet I find out I watch it every single year. And I always talk with buddies, and when we're at 4th of July parties, like 75, let's go 75, a number like that. Some of these folks, like Joey Chestnut, I think, has eaten 75 hot dogs and hot dog buns in 10 minutes. Could we do that in 10 hours? It would be 7.5 hot dogs per hour for 10 hours. Each hour, 7.5 hot dogs. I don't think I could do that in 10 hours, much less 10 minutes.
Have you done the 999 challenge?
What is the 999? I've done the milk challenge, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Go ahead. What's the 999?
9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings of baseball.
Ah!
I did that at my last station, and I got through 4.5 hot dogs and drank, I think it was 12 beers.
Do you just get too full or too drunk?
My thing is, I just got too full, but I could keep drinking beer the whole, like, I could put back things.
I've never even heard of that, but I like that. So it's basically a dog and a beer every inning for 9 innings. See, now you've given me something to aspire to next time I go to a Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game. I'll see what I can do. Now, you don't know about the famous milk challenge that happened on 3 different radio stations, all that I was a part of, July 4th weekend, as a matter of fact. Now, I retired from this challenge, I believe 2013, 2014. Longtime listeners of 1010XL will remember this. It started in a far-off land on another station down the radio dial when I was an intern. We saw a thing online. Now, keep in mind, this was 20-plus years ago, about drinking a gallon of milk in an hour. And as an intern, I was willing to do anything to be on the radio. Obviously, it's the line of work we were in, plus I was 19, 20 years old. So I tell Mike Dempsey at the time, I'll do it, sure. So the first time I did it, we did it in studio. Then I failed, right? Drinking a gallon of milk in an hour is not possible unless you're Joey Chestnut. He's like the only guy I've ever seen do it. And if you don't believe me, and I'm not recommending anybody to do this, but if you don't believe me, if you want to, up to your own discretion, try drinking a gallon of milk in an hour and report back to me and let me know what happens. We tried it again on a radio station that we called The Toaster before all of us came over to 1010. Same thing in studio, failed. The third and final time was the best one because we actually had an audience for this. We had listeners come in that had to sign a waiver that did it with me. And Joe Coward, it was back when I was on the air with him middays, we actually set up a live remote broadcast from our parking lot at our old radio station. And there's video of this on the 1010XL YouTube channel. It's away in the archives, but you can find it. Jared, we probably had 100 people show up and just driving down the road, honking, watching. Me and 3 other listeners try to drink a gallon of milk in an hour. Now, the stupid thing was we were middays. It was literally like July 1st or 2nd. So it's 1,000 degrees outside. And we're drinking ice cold milk.
You're making your own yogurt.
Yeah, and a gallon variety for an hour. But I will tell you this, that happened 13 years ago. I think it was 2013, 2014 at the latest. So either 12 or 13 years ago. And I still have people come up to me to this day asking me about the milk challenge. Oh, yeah, how'd that milk challenge work out for you? Like tongue in cheek. There may come a day. You know, like we're getting a lot of sequels now that are years and years and years in the making. Like Beverly Hills Cop 4 came out, you know, and all these different sequels that happened, 15, 20, 25 years ago. Maybe one day, maybe on the 15-year anniversary or the 20-year anniversary, I may come out of retirement. to do said milk challenge here. But after 3 failed attempts, I just don't think it's possible. But that was a July 4th tradition here on 1010XL for a couple of years. I don't miss doing it because you feel just awful afterwards.
I have to assume
it's awful. It's because not only, and I'm not trying to get too graphic here.
Right?
Do what?
You get poisoned.
Well, yeah, you probably need to stop before then. I got very close the last time. I got very close in trying to do it, but again, I don't think it's possible. I tried 3 separate occasions. I failed all 3 occasions, but that milk challenge was a popular deal here for a while. And then, Jared, I turned 30 and realized it's probably time for me to stop doing said milk challenge. But maybe one day we will bring that out of retirement. Coming up next, back into the National Football League. Again, our AFC West previews are going to continue tonight. We will make stops in both Las Vegas and Denver, and we'll also keep you updated on Croatia and Portugal. We are in stoppage time, 1-1. Croatia, Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo scored, but then got substituted in for, so he is out of the game. We are 8 minutes away from extra time. We are in stoppage time in the second half. 1-1. We will keep you updated. A lot more to do till 10 o'clock. Glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Backyard barbecues and sunsets that stretch across the St. John's. Summer on the First Coast. 1010XL, Jacksonville's summer station.
This is David Lane. You probably heard me talk about Southeast Orthopedic Specialists by now. Gotta tell you, they're not dragging me in here to do this. I volunteer to share my good experiences. Whatever your level of discomfort is, let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS.
This is David Lane, and I seriously recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
From the tee to the green and everywhere in between. Join Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros for Brunch with the Tour. Teamed up by Clearwater Irrigation and North Florida Medical Centers. Tuesday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey for DraftKings, which is now live in all 50 states. Of course, that means you, Florida, win or go home. That's it. That's the World Cup knockout round. And DraftKings has you covered for every single match. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or maybe the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code 1010XL, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Get ready for the biggest 4th of July in a generation at Superior Fireworks. Shop by July 2nd to beat huge last-minute crowds on Blanding Boulevard in Orange Park and online at superiorfireworks.com/radio.
Dinner tonight? Make it easy and make it something everyone will love. With the Flame Broiler Family Meal Plan, you can feed 4 fast with fresh, flavorful options. You get 20 ounces of your choice of protein. Mix and match your favorites, plus steamed rice and a fresh veggie medley. It's a complete no-stress meal the whole family can agree on, starting at just $34.99. Skip the cooking tonight. Bring the family together and stop by any of Flame Broiler's 5 locations today.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Again, I talked about this in hour number one, or at least at the start of this hour. We're almost into hour number two. You got to love the FIFA World Cup. I mean, the drama in this thing. We're in extra time or stoppage time in the second half. Portugal substituted for Cristiano Ronaldo against Croatia, a 1-1 game, and Portugal just put it in the back of the net in the 93rd minute. Portugal looks like they're going to hold on to win. And what does that mean for the United States? Well, if you look at the bracket, if the U.S. beats Belgium, which is a big if, but if they beat Belgium, I believe then, if this score holds, they would get the winner of Spain and Portugal. And regardless of who it would be if the United States beats Belgium, if the U.S. versus Spain, that would be incredible. But, Jared, can you imagine in the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup held in the United States of America, if it's Team USA versus Cristiano Ronaldo in the quarterfinals in a week and a half from now? I mean, that would be unfreaking believable.
There will be a lot of like little kids who will be very confused going, that's my favorite player, but that's my team. That's my favorite player.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that. So little hack, I'm actually taking him to a banana ball tomorrow night down at the baseball grounds downtown. And by the way, I know Max is coming back from there this evening with my buddy Chris here on 1010XL. I know they had a great time, and shout out to you guys. Happy 4th of July. I'm taking Little Hack down there tomorrow, but Little Hack has a Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. He watches all the Ronaldo YouTube videos. Every time Ronaldo scores, like I just texted him, and he's running around the house like a madman. He would not know what to do because he obviously loves the United States. He's Team USA. He's got the United States bandana on every time they play. Boy, that would be a confused 7-year-old if it's Team USA versus Cristiano Ronaldo in the quarterfinals. But we're on the cusp of that. Again, the United States has to beat Belgium. That's a tall order. It would be a tall order with Balogun. Without Balogun, it's a real tall order. Belgium is one of the top 10 in the world for a reason. They're a little older, maybe a little slower than they have been, but they're still very good. And I would have them as the favorite against the United States. And Portugal and Spain, who really knows? But one can dream for a moment. And if it's the USA against Cristiano Ronaldo in his final World Cup here in North America in the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup 2026, you want to talk about breaking television records. That would be absolutely incredible. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up next, our AFC West preview begins to wind down. Last night, we made stops in Los Angeles and Kansas City. Later on tonight, we will go to Denver. But up next, let's go to the city that I just was in and that Jared just moved from. Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada. Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. What an offseason for the Raiders. Fernando Mendoza, Kirk Cousins, Clint Kubiak, that whole Max Crosby soap opera. Where are the Raiders heading into 2026? Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal next here on Hacker After Dark.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
And it's picked up by Rayshon Jenkins. That is going to be a touchdown. The Jags are going to win it.
1010XL.
Are you kidding me?
Home of the Jaguars.
Rick Ballou here with the congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Catch the sights and sounds of the great outdoors from anywhere in the city. Go hunting and fishing with Jeff Logan, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnit Outdoors Show every Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Who are the CEOs making a real impact in Northeast Florida? I'm Liz Grebe, the events director for the Jacksonville Business Journal, and we are now accepting nominations for this year's Ultimate CEO Awards, where we recognize the top executives who are leading their companies and helping shape our region's future. If you know an outstanding CEO in Baker, Clay, Duval, Flagler, Nassau, Putnam, or St. Johns County, nominate them today. Nominations close July 20th. Visit jbjevents.com for details and help us recognize the leaders moving Northeast Florida forward.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jack's Peak. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. One division per week leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp at the end of the month. This week, it's all about the AFC West. We will make stops in Los Angeles, in Denver, and in Kansas City. Right now, it's all about the city that I was just in as a tourist, Las Vegas, Nevada, and what an offseason it was for the Las Vegas Raiders. New head coach, new quarterbacks, Max Crosby and that whole soap opera. Let's talk about the outlook for the Raiders heading into 2026. Our guy in Las Vegas is Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Adam, how you doing?
I'm good, and man, you talk about the offseason. It seems like there was no offseason. It's almost over, and almost back to training camp. Only got a little bit of time left to be off and enjoy it, and the players are out of the building right now, but they'll be back very soon.
It was a wild offseason for you guys. Yeah. I can't imagine living it every day. Let's begin with the new head coach. You had to wait till after the Super Bowl when Clint Kubiak finally took over the gig. How has his interim, I guess not interim, but how has his first couple of months on the job been there in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was years ago that, we kind of knew, obviously, going on along through the process, they were waiting on Clint Kubiak. And then once it got to Super Bowl week, it was very clear Kubiak was going to take the job. I flew up there. I hung out with him a little bit during the media night. Spent the entire hour of media availability with him leading up to the Super Bowl, even though he hadn't been named the coach yet. So that was kind of weird. And what I learned that night is what I've learned through his time here. Like, he is all ball all the time. Is not really interested in media or small talk or anything like that. And not that he's not pleasant. He's a very pleasant person, but he's like the kind of guy that it seems to me he wants to be locked in a basement designing plays, and then just with his guys showing them how to run the plays. So we'll see how he transitions to being a head coach where you have to do all that other stuff. He's handling it fine. There's nothing, nothing wrong with what he's doing. It's just more he answers questions in a very matter-of-fact way. On to the next question, and he'll answer your question, but he'll answer it as quickly and succinctly as possible, and then move on and just wants to get back to his office and dive into the playbook more. So it'll be interesting to see how that works during the season. But for right now, he's kind of a head in the playbook, nose to the grindstone kind of guy.
You know, there was a time when he drafted a quarterback high in the draft that they did sit and learn, but that time seemingly had come and gone for the last, 2 decades, right? You take a quarterback in the top 5, more times than not, they were just thrown out there opening day of their rookie year. Fernando Mendoza coming off 16-0, a Heisman Trophy winning national championship season at Indiana. He's all the buzz, yet the talk is, Adam, I guess Kirk Cousins is going to be the guy this year, correct?
Oh, that's the plan. Plans are plans until they're forced to change. So the plan was also to not have Max Crosby on this team, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, in a minute. But this is a team in a weird spot. It's an organization in a very weird spot. Tom Brady is, in charge. He's a minority owner, but his voice is very prominent, and he did not like what happened last year in terms of going 3-14 and that being on his resume. And they're kind of trying to make an effort to say that wasn't him. They made a big announcement, like Tom Brady is now taking a more, direct approach in running the organization, but he was doing that last year too. This is just kind of their way of washing that away and pretending he wasn't part of it. He doesn't want to lose, and I don't think he wants to have that appetite for waiting for a quarterback to develop, and I think that's why they brought in Kirk Cousins. Now, I think everybody in the organization would be absolutely thrilled if Mendoza blows Cousins out of the water in training camp and he forces their hand and he's the guy. But I will tell you, through OTAs and minicamp, that didn't happen. Fernando Mendoza was the third team quarterback in almost every day, almost every drill, and he looked like the third string quarterback in almost every drill. I mean, it was Kirk Cousins, who's been part of this offense before, was with Kubiak for 3 years in Minnesota. It was Aiden O'Connell, who's kind of a veteran who has started some games in the NFL, is really smart, and always looks good this time of year because he's so ahead of the curve on learning a playbook and understanding what you're supposed to do, but doesn't necessarily show up in the regular season. And then it was Mendoza, who kind of struggled his way through a little bit. A lot of plays where he wasn't certain of where to go. He was still thinking too much. A lot of checking down and just taking the short pass and just didn't trust himself necessarily all the time. This is not a critique of Mendoza at all. It's just that's a rookie, and he looked like a rookie, and the other guys look like veterans who had been in the system and played around with this, with what they want to do here in this offense for a while. So if it continues to look that way, yes, I think the plan will be to stay with Kirk Cousins as a starter. But I think a lot of people are just hoping that doesn't happen, and that Fernando Mendoza forces their hand, and at some point, either in training camp or during the season, he forces his way into the lineup, and they can't go with Kirk Cousins anymore.
Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal, with us here on 1010XL, previewing the Las Vegas Raiders as our AFC West preview continues. You look at the skill position, Adam, on offense. Ashton Genty coming into his second year. Brock Bowers, who was phenomenal 2 years ago, battled injury problems last year. They go out and bring in a wide receiver like Naylor, who is kind of off the radar based on all the other free agents they brought in, and we'll get to those defensive guys in a moment. But how would you assess the skill position on offense around either Cousins or Mendoza?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good start when you've got Genty, who I think is much better than his numbers look last year. I think he played much better than his numbers indicated. Just had a bad system and a bad offensive line around him. He's really good. I think Brock Bowers is a game changer. Top, say, 2 or 3 tight ends in the league, maybe even the best tight end in the league. I mean, he's a phenomenal player, a phenomenal athlete, can do so many things. And it's funny, I was actually just spent a couple of days with Kirk Cousins at his camp up in Michigan, getting to know him a little bit and writing a profile on him. And one of the things he said was just how you have to adjust to how good Brock Bowers is. Like sometimes you just throw a pass that, hey, he's not open, he'll catch it anyway. And it's an adjustment for a quarterback to make, how good he is. The wide receiver group is where it gets interesting, because while you've got very steady players at running back and tight end, you look there at the wide receivers and say, okay, there's some talent, there's some speed, there's some ability. There's not a guy. Like, you don't have that alpha receiver guy. You don't have a big receiver, which I think would be helpful for a guy like Mendoza, who loves to throw the back shoulder. You don't have that, that big physical presence, that X receiver in this offense. And you don't have an alpha in this offense. You don't have that, not that there's many on the planet, but you don't have that, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type player for sure. You just got a lot of guys who bring their own skill sets, have strengths and weaknesses. I think that Clint Kubiak's going to be able to figure out how to use some of those guys, especially Trey Tucker, who had some success last year with the Raiders, Jack Bech, Dante Thornton, who were drafted last year and didn't really find their footing. You bring in Jalen Naylor, who was buried on the Minnesota depth chart behind guys like Addison and Jefferson, but they think he can be a really good player, and he's a Vegas kid from Bishop Moorman High School here in Las Vegas, so he returns home. So you've just got guys. Who's going to step up and be the man? We don't know. But there is some ability there that I think Kubiak can play with.
I got to ask you about the defense, but while we're on the wide receiver group, I got to ask you about Jakobi Meyers. He's been nothing short of sensational since he arrived here in Jacksonville, already got that contract extension. Why did it end so bad for him out in Las Vegas?
Well, somebody told you about that, I think, at the time, that you guys are going to love him. I mean, one was money, right? He thought more highly of himself than the team did. And I think part of it in a lot of ways, and you've seen it, I'm sure, is that he did put up 100 catches, one year, but he's not that dominant stat guy necessarily. He just does everything you could want from him. He's unbelievable in the locker room. He's a fantastic blocker. I mean, maybe the best blocking receiver in the league, or at least one of them. So selfless, helps everybody else, is willing to do the dirty work to get other guys open on the field. And then obviously he can make the catches too, and he can put up his own stats. But I think part of it was he played the good, soldier through all of that. As you guys have seen in Jacksonville, he was always willing to do that. And then it got to the negotiating table, and I think he felt like they diminished all of those other things. And we're like, well, you're not a number one receiver. And he said, yeah, but I could be. I just do all these other things to help everybody else. And he didn't like the way that he was treated. Plus, if you think back to the year before and what was happening here in Vegas, he was absolutely the good soldier when Devontae Adams kind of, lost it with the organization and forced his way out. And Jakobi Meyers held that thing together in that room, in the offensive room. He was quiet about a lot of things that went on behind the scenes. And man, we could talk about a lot of things if they weren't, off the record from a lot of guys of how that room was when Devontae Adams was there. And he just held it all together. He was the glue for that team. And I don't think he was given credit for that at the negotiating table. And I think that's why he kind of decided at one point, like, yeah, this is enough. He's not the kind of guy that's going to be a diva. He's not going to speak up and be a problem. He did, stand up for himself and say, look, I don't think I'm being treated properly. I want out. And he eventually got his wish.
Yeah, we love him here in Jacksonville. No question about that. Final moments, Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal. All right, defensively, the Max Crosby situation, that was crazy. They trade him. He gets sent back. There was issues with a knee injury, potentially. They go out and sign a ton of free agents, including a couple of former Georgia Bulldogs that we're very familiar with here in Jacksonville, and Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. And yet, as of right now, Max Crosby is still on the roster in what looks to be, Adam, a defensive roster that might be pretty good, correct?
Yeah, I think it can be good. Now, the caveat to that would be, you said Crosby is still on the roster, and yeah, that's, as of now. I think a lot of people look at this as something that happened as in the past. I look at it as something that still could be developing. I think if a team came with the same offer that the Ravens did, that the Raiders would trade Max Crosby today. But those offers aren't coming in. But I would keep an eye on it if I was other teams around the league, where if he looks healthy for the first couple of games and the Raiders maybe aren't winning, I would expect the talks to heat up significantly at that point. If he shows that he's at a high level, that he is very healthy, that he can play, and if the Raiders aren't, what they think they could be, which is potentially fighting for a playoff spot, which I don't know that they're quite there yet. I would watch this situation for sure. And if Crosby's gone, that does change the equation for the defense. I mean, he's the only standout player on the defensive line. I think they have a lot of really good role players. I like their depth at defensive line. I like a lot of the talent that they have, but they don't have, again, like the receiving core they don't have that guy like Max Crosby that can step up and take those stats on. So I don't, I think it would be a dramatic impact on this defense if he was gone this year. I think it would be helpful for the future. So we'll see where they end up trying to play that out. But if Crosby is there with those linebackers you mentioned, another former Georgia Bulldog, part of that reunion that was already here last year was Eric Stokes, who played phenomenally well at corner. Former first-round pick who was injured through his time in Green Bay, was healthy last year and played at a very high level, looked like that first-round pick again. Brought in some other guys in the defensive backfield, trading Stukes, a kid from Arizona that I think everybody around the organization loves. He's been, he's been a Jacoby Myers type for the defense, trading Stukes, the rookie. So I think that there's a lot of pieces there that could potentially play out and make this defense look pretty good. I know Robbie Leonard, the former defensive line coach, who's now the defensive coordinator, is excited about unveiling something new. He's never been a coordinator before, never called plays before, so nobody really knows to expect from this team. So I think all those things are there. And then, the X factor that, I know everybody here is obsessed with and talking about all the time. I certainly am, but I don't know where people are around the league. But, Jamad McCoy, former Tennessee corner, who I believe if he was healthy would have been a top 10 pick, falls to the 4th round. And where is his knee? Like, we haven't seen a whole lot of him in OTAs and minicamp. He was on the field here and there. What is their plan for this year? If he was able to play at his level and was healthy, now all of a sudden you've got a couple of game changers on that defense. So I think that is the big X factor for them this season.
Adam, as we wrap up, talking to people around the division this week, I mean, on paper, look, I think the Chargers think they can win the division. I think the Broncos think they can repeat. Kansas City, if they're healthy, obviously. And the general consensus is it's probably still a rebuild in Las Vegas. Is that the way it feels out there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what I've been saying, and when people ask and when I write about it, is that everything with this team should be about 2027 and 2028. Use this year to develop a lot of guys. Like, this is what I thought they should have done last year. And I think they're a year behind because they didn't do that. But I do think that there is a plan now. I think, one of the things that happened, and, not to dive too far deep into it, but, Pete Carroll took the job last year, a guy that had never been really part of a rebuild. I mean, he's quickly rebuilt things and been successful. The new general manager, John Spytek from down in Tampa, wanted a long-term plan. Pete Carroll wanted a short-term plan, and Pete Carroll kind of won out. And I think that was a huge mistake. And now John Spytek's here, Pete Carroll isn't. And I think Spytek can orchestrate his plan more long-term like he wanted to do in the first place. It's just a year behind the schedule. I mean, just a real quick note that they last year needed receivers at 2 different times. They signed Amari Cooper and Tyler Lockett. How does that help your future? Yeah. It just doesn't. It's a waste, and it holds back the guys that you need to develop. So I don't think you'll see any more of that this year. I think they are more committed to, they don't want to say the word rebuild, but I think they are more committed to a long-term vision, and I think you'll see that play out.
Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal. He's our guy when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders with us here on 1010XL. Adam, thank you as always for the time. We'll do it again soon, pal.
Sounds good. Good talking to you.
This World Cup soccer update is laced up by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes and Houston's Meats.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update. I'm Phil Constantino. World Cup round of 32 in Toronto in second half stoppage time. Portugal has a 2-1 lead on Croatia. Croatia went ahead 1-0 on Ivan Perisic's goal in the 53rd minute, but the equalizer from Cristiano Ronaldo on a penalty kick in the 68th minute. In his 6th and likely final World Cup appearance, Ronaldo finally scores his first knockout round goal. It's his 9th career knockout game.
One of Beard's Diamond's most popular events ever is back. It's Christmas in July. Right now, for a limited time, you get as much as 40% off anything in our showcases. Yes, that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, colored gemstones. This is the annual store-wide sale that everyone loves, because you get December prices in July. Up to 40% off store-wide. Don't miss Christmas in July. Exclusively at Beard's Diamond at the St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com. Shop local. Shop Beards. Santa Claus normally avoids Florida this time of year, but not this year. Christmas in July is happening right now at Beard's Diamonds. Get up to 40% off now through July 27th. Beard's showcases are stocked with all new fashion jewelry, exquisite colored gemstone pieces, and the best selection of diamonds in North Florida. Rounds, emerald cuts, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, from a half carat to 10 carats and more. Come and find the perfect engagement ring now at Beard's and save up to 40%. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Gators in the morning, Florida for lunch, a late night Gator snack. Whenever you're ready, the Gator Podcast channel is too. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
The birth of a child is a time of joy, but when complications during delivery lead to injury or death, families are left with lifelong problems. If you believe a medical mistake contributed to a birth injury, protect yourself and your family by understanding your legal options. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggets helps families evaluate medical negligence claims. No fees unless you recover damages. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
I might say it 1,000 times. I probably already have said it 1,000 times in the last couple of weeks. I'll continue to say it until this thing comes to an end. The FIFA World Cup has been insane. So in the last 10 minutes, Portugal and Croatia 1-1. They're in stoppage time in the second half. They had passed the 90-minute mark, but they were in stoppage time. Ronaldo, who scored for Portugal, had been substituted in for around the 81st minute. So Cristiano Ronaldo is not in the game. Portugal scores in like the 93rd minute to make it 2-1. It's over, right? It's over. There's 10 minutes of extra time. So Croatia's got 7 minutes to try to score. Portugal's going nuts. Croatia keeps trying and trying and trying. Clock is ticking and ticking and ticking. In the 99th minute, the 9th minute of extra time or stoppage time in the second half, Croatia puts the ball in the back of the net. They've gone from being eliminated to being exhilarated. Their fans are going nuts. I mean, it is bedlam in Toronto. Until the referee says, wait a minute, we got to go to the VAR. Remember that from last night? They had to go to the VAR in Toronto, where a Croatian player nicked the ball. And that's what I would describe it as. Nicked the ball, maybe with a couple of blades of his hair, which I guess put his teammate at that point in an offside position, and they take the goal off the board. Final whistle blows, 30 seconds later, Portugal is your winner. Oh, my gosh. The swing of emotion for those Croatian players. I mean, there are tears in the stands. The Croatian fans started throwing stuff onto the field. Just, my goodness. And keep in mind, these teams have been trying to, World Cup qualifying went on for well over 2 years. Croatia, who's been very good in the World Cup in years past, mind you, they played their first World Cup qualifiers in the summer of 2024. This is 2 years of work to get to where they were today in the round of 32, thinking they were back from the dead, tying the game with less than 30 seconds to go, and to have literally a couple, I don't even know how to describe it, a couple hair follicles, how about that, on the top of this dude's head that put his teammate in an offside position. The goal is taken off the board, and Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo advance. Absolutely incredible. So now in the bracket, it's simple. United States, Belgium play Monday night. The winner of that game will play the winner of Spain and Portugal. So if the U.S. beats Belgium, big if, but if they do, they get either Spain, which would be unbelievable, or they get freaking Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal, which, again, would be unfreaking believable. You want to talk about soap opera, drama, electricity. I don't care if you hate soccer, if you love soccer, wherever you are in between. If you can't admit that the last couple of weeks have been awesome when it comes to sports and sports television and sports drama, then I just don't know what to tell you, because it has been an absolute roller coaster ride, and I have loved every single bit of it. And I'm crazy enough, Jared, where I'm going to go home. Little Hack's probably already in bed. Don't think I'm not watching Switzerland and Algeria at 11 o'clock. Are you kidding me? The ratings in Jacksonville will be huge for Switzerland and Algeria, but I'll be one of the ones watching when that game kicks off in 90 minutes. One segment to go. We also got a big interview coming up as our AFC West preview comes to an end. My guy Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver, joins me in less than 15 minutes. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Through every challenge, every victory, America keeps moving forward. I'm Dan Hicken. 1010XL salutes 250 years of freedom, and the next chapter still being written.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company is hiring for an estimator. Are you a motivated, customer-focused professional who enjoys working with people and doing things the right way? We want to hear from you. Send your resume to JCW Roof at jcwroof.com or call 904-396-1546. Family owned and operated since 1946. Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company, the first name in Jacksonville roofing.
Checkmate. I'm Braden Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate King.
The two most important factors behind a great garage floor coating are the preparation and the application.
So we prepare every floor with high-performance diamond grinding pads. But just ugly diamonds, right, Brendan? If we find any nice ones, I could use some crown jewels.
Sorry, Chester. Our special grinding pads use diamonds that are too ugly for jewelry.
But they create the perfect surface to bind with our multi-layer polymer coating for years of durable performance.
You'll have to pick out jewelry on your own time, Your Highness.
The term is Your Majesty, Brendan, but I'll let it go this time.
Perfect preparation?
Check. Expert application?
Check. A gorgeous new floor that sparkles like a diamond in your garage? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at bofa.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment tonight is all about the World Cup. The United States win over Bosnia last night, their game Monday night against Belgium in Seattle. As we told you earlier, 24.4 million people. That was the average that Fox had for last night's game. They did peak at last night's game at 31.8 million. It is the most watched soccer game in the history of English-speaking television, which is crazy to think about. Just to give it a little context, 24.4 million watched the United States and Bosnia last night. That's 4 million more than watched Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. So to say that soccer hasn't grabbed a hold of this nation over the last couple of weeks, I think that speaks volumes when you're out drawing the NBA Finals, and particularly the NBA Finals in which the New York Knicks win their first title in over 5+ decades. So Monday will be enormous, no doubt about that. We'll spend a lot of time on it. I'll actually be on with Hayes Carline on the Frangie Show next week from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock. And then I'll be with you live Monday night at 8 o'clock as the United States-Belgium game is going on. And we will certainly have instant reaction, live reaction to everything that is transpiring. Again, a win for the United States would put them in the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. Belgium did knock them out of the World Cup back in 2014. There are actually still some Belgian players from that 2014 team that still are on the Belgian 26 team that the United States is going to play on Monday. So hopefully it's a little revenge in the making, 12 years worth, as the USA and Belgium get together on Monday night. Again, I'll be with you live at 8 o'clock on Hacker After Dark, and we will certainly have a ton of reaction to that. Happy July 4th weekend to everybody. The nation celebrates 250 years. Hope you guys eat a lot of hot dogs, hamburgers, enjoy some cold beverages, whatever that entails in your life. Hope you enjoy friends, fellowship, family. I know I'm taking a little hack down to the Banana Ball tomorrow night downtown. We got a cookout and a get-together on both Saturday and Sunday. It's a great time of year, and obviously celebrating our nation's birthday is a big, big deal. So happy 250th to the United States of America. Our AFC West preview wraps up in just a moment. We've already made stops in Kansas City, in Los Angeles, and in Las Vegas. Our final stop, again, one division per week leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp. Our final stop in the AFC West is in the Mile High in Denver. Of course, the Jaguars will go to Mile High. Second game of the year in the month of September. Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver, is our guy when it comes to the Broncos. Let's talk Bo Nix. Let's talk Jalen Waddle. Let's talk Evan Ingram. And let's talk about where Denver is after losing that AFC Championship game. We wrap up our AFC West preview with Andrew Mason of 104.3 in Denver, and that is coming up next on a Thursday night here in Northeast Florida. We're glad you're with us. With Jared Justice, the hacker Ryan Green with you. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and always right here on 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville is thinking teal, and so are Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. It's Jaguars Today, breaking down everything Jags and NFL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Weekdays 10 to noon on 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
The weather is heating up, and it's time to drop a line in the water. Gear up today at Green Acres Sporting Goods, Jacksonville's fishing headquarters. From Shimano and Penn reels to Zoom baits and much more for saltwater and freshwater fishing. They've got everything you need to land the big one. And when your gear needs work, trust their expert rod and reel repair to keep you casting like new. Stop by Green Acres today or shop online at greenacresporting.com.
Rick Ballou here. DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. Win or go home, that's it. That's the World Cup knockout round, and DraftKings has you covered every single match. The DraftKings app is now live in Florida, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you are in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. The code is 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions. Dollars that expire in 1 year, ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Jacksonville, this is your club. Sporting Jacks is proudly representing the First Coast in the USL Championship, bringing professional soccer and unforgettable match day experience to Hodges Stadium. Feel the energy of professional soccer as Sporting Jacks continues to build something special on the First Coast. Join us as Sporting Jacks continues its historic inaugural season. Get tickets today at sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK. Pro Soccer, Pro Jacks.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. One division per week leading up to the start of Jaguar training camp at the end of the month. This week, it's all about the AFC West. We will make stops in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Kansas City. Right now, it's all about the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado, the Denver Broncos coming off an AFC Championship game appearance. They've added a key free agent on offense. What about former Jaguar Evan Ingram, and what's the status and the health of quarterback Bo Nix? Let's talk about all of it with our guy when it comes to the Denver Broncos. His name is Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver, also denversports.com, and Andrew's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Andrew, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Andrew, we're good. Thank you so much for the time. All right, the last time you and I spoke was right around the playoffs last year. Obviously, Denver had everything right in front of them, got that huge win over Buffalo, is hosting an AFC Championship game, and then the devastation of learning that Bo Nix got hurt in that Buffalo game, would not be able to play in the AFC title game, and then obviously subsequent losing to New England. How, I guess depressing's not the right word, but you tell me what the verbiage is. What was it like to end the year in that fashion?
I'd say another word that begins with DE, and I'd say deflating, more so than depressing. I think part of it is as frustrating as it was, and, you know, as in that moment, an hour after you win the game, you find out Bo Nix is out for the year and is going to miss the next game. I mean, it's certainly just the celebration of beating Buffalo just vanished, and it was. And to end the season, like, I mean, I think deflating is probably a good way to describe it, because you do, you know, it's you basically had the chance to win to win the AFC, win the Super Bowl. In retrospect, evaporate because of it. And again, against the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game, Denver's defense, which was number 2 in the league total defense last year behind the Texans, played out of its mind. The only touchdown the Patriots got that day was on a short field starting in the red zone. And unfortunately for the Broncos, that red zone drive was set up by Jarrett Stidham filling in for Bo Nix, doing the one thing you can't do when you're flushed out and you're fading back. And, that's probably where you're just trying to, best case, throw the ball away. Otherwise, just eat it. And he takes this, and instead he's sacked. It's ruled a sack on replay, fumble. Patriots get it. And so that's kind of part of what the Broncos look back at is, they can basically very clearly say, if not for the Bo Nix injury, they are probably in the Super Bowl. Because I think that's the one thing you could have changed, and I don't know that Bo would have made that same mistake, and maybe the Broncos probably eke out a win, and they're playing in Santa Clara against the Seahawks. So deflating, but with bringing Jalen Waddle in the offseason, of course, and the team having its core back for the most part, only losing John Franklin Myers in free agency and then releasing Dre Greenlaw, who was splitting time with Justin Stern at linebacker. They're basically, almost entirely running this thing back with the same team, plus adding the explosiveness of Waddle. So deflating, but they certainly go in as one of the favorites, it would seem.
Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver, also denversports.com. He's our guy when it comes to the Broncos, and he's with us here on 1010XL as our AFC West preview continues. I certainly want to get to Jared Waddle and the rest of the offense in a moment, but certainly, Andrew, the question with Bo Nix, obviously, how is the health? How has he looked this offseason?
Well, we haven't seen much of him on the field. In fact, he had a follow-up ankle surgery in April to clean up some bone spurs that remained there. So the only glimpse we got of him on the field against any defenders was a single 7-on-7 period at minicamp last month. So basically we got to see him for 4 throws, and and then that was it for our glimpse of him. He looked fine in that moment. Basically what the Broncos have got to decide, even Bo Nix decided, in terms of the surgery that he had in April on the bone spurs, he acknowledged, I could have played with that through the season, but why not just get that cleaned up now so you're not dealing with it in the campaign, not trying to play through that kind of pain. And so the Broncos and Bo they sacrificed a few weeks of him getting cohesion with Jalen Waddle for what they hope is going to be better long-term health. So the brief glimpse we got of Bo Nix he looked fine, but really the moment he had that injury, in retrospect, this offseason became about just saying, okay, let's try to make sure that this particular ankle injury ensures that he only misses one game, and that when it gets back to week 1 in 2026, that he'll be ready to go. That's the real victory, assuming he continues to recover. And so far, so good. He's hit every milestone they've wanted him to in his rehab from that surgery.
And to be fair, I don't know if this was ever a topic to begin with, but I got to ask you, the Sean Payton, Bo Nix stuff that came out, Payton maybe talking about his injury a little bit in the media, was that much ado about nothing out there in Denver?
It was, and I think Bo wished that Sean had not been quite as forthcoming about his history of ankle injuries in the past, but it's nothing that really was working against them. They've got a very good relationship, and I would say for those who followed the game a long time, it's a similar relationship to the one that Sean Payton's mentor Bill Parcells had with Phil Simms back in the day when they were with the New York Giants. And there are plenty of old NFL film clips out there if you want to find them on YouTube and such. But they would go at each other from time to time. Like there'd be some shouting back and forth with each other. And we've seen back in his rookie season, we saw Bo shout back at Sean Payton during the Broncos win over the Raiders in October of 24. They've got a very good working relationship, but there is definitely a little bit of feistiness and back and forth to it. They're going to disagree on some things, but ultimately it's one of those things, like sometimes you yell at your brother kind of thing, but you still love him. He's still together at the end of the day. And that's basically kind of the relationship that Sean Payton has with Bo Nix. And then Sean's the kind of guy who actually wants to see that sort of fight in a player, to kind of fight for what they believe in. Whereas Sean Payton's first year with Denver, he was caught yelling on the sideline at Russell Wilson against the Detroit Lions, and Wilson just kind of stood there and took it and had a blank stare on his face. That's not the kind of quarterback Payton wants. He wants a guy who's going to chirp back at him from time to time. So I think all is well between Sean Payton and Bo Nix. There's no there, as it were.
Couple more for Andrew Mason. Denver Sports 104.3. Also, denversports.com is where you find his terrific work covering the Denver Broncos. Andrew, you mentioned Jalen Waddle. That was obviously the big splash. You team him up with Cortland Sutton, former Jaguar Evan Ingram, still in the mix as well. J.K. Dobbins. I mean, they got to be pretty excited about what they have on the offensive side of the ball at the skill positions.
Oh, yeah, and with Jalen Waddle, it's not just what they think he's going to bring in terms of quickness, speed, explosiveness to the passing game. It's also what they're looking at him potentially opening up for everybody else. I mean, if you get, we saw with Jalen Waddle last year in Miami after primarily being more of a short to intermediate target. When Tyreek Hill went down, Jalen Waddle's average depth of target spiked up from single digits to about 15, 16 yards on his average depth of target. They started to use him vertically more. And I think what you're going to see from him with the Broncos, I think you'll see him, working some short crossers and drag routes, but you're also going to see him push downfield, take advantage of that speed, and that can open things up. I think one of the things that we already saw in OTAs and minicamp was, Waddle drawing coverage away from the underneath when he'd run deeper, and that would open up things for Evan Ingram. And Ingram had a very interesting season last year in terms of production, probably not what he was hoping for when he came to Denver, but there were some big-time sparks from him, like the game against Washington last year, Thanksgiving weekend on Sunday Night Football. That was his best game of the year. And I think his yards after the catch went up significantly from 24 to 25. So I think you're going to see some more possibilities open up for Evan Ingram. And kind of the wild card with Ingram there is you have Davis Webb taking over and being the primary play caller as offensive coordinator. Webb had worked with quarterbacks the last 3 seasons in Denver. And Davis Webb and Evan Ingram go back a ways. They go back to 2017. They were both part of the New York Giants draft class when Ingram was a first-round pick. And they've got a pretty good connection together. And I think you're going to see Webb set some things up for Ingram, but I also think you'll see Jalen Waddle draw some more coverage and open some things up for Ingram underneath. So I expect the former Jaguar to have a better season pass catching wise than he did last year.
Of course, the Jaguars will be out in Denver very early in the regular season, week number 2, a rematch of that game last year in December out at Mile High. Andrew, I want to end with a thought on the division. Before we get there, the defense obviously was sensational last year. As you said, they only lost Franklin Myers and Greenlaw. An overwhelming majority of that defense comes back. They got to think they'll pick up right where they left off, correct?
Not exactly. There was a big thing floating around in June of Sean Payton and defensive coordinator Vance Joseph reminding their guys, okay, last year's last year. You can't take it with you. And the defense spent a good portion of its offseason focused on trying to find more takeaways. I mean, I think when you have a season like last year where you're second in the league in total defense, you've led the league in sacks 2 years in a row, both times setting franchise records. It's like, okay, what more can we get? Where's the meat on the bone that's not being consumed? It's in takeaways. The Broncos last year had, in the regular season, only 3 teams had fewer takeaways than they did. Now, one of the things they can focus on as well is that they beat Buffalo in the divisional round with takeaways becoming a big part of it. After struggling in the regular season, they generated 5 takeaways from Josh Allen and company, including that interception where Jaquan McMillan took the ball from Brandon Cooks, and that set up what would be a game-winning field goal. So you have a defense that is focused on trying to get more turnovers from the opponent and yet at the same time they have that belief that they can do it because that defense won the franchise's only playoff win in the last decade by generating plenty of takeaways. So it's a point of emphasis, but they can go in saying, hey, we've done this before. We won a big game before on takeaways. If we can just do this on a more consistent basis, we'll be able to find something more from this defense. So it's an interesting thing that for a defense that played really well last year, they're focused on the one thing that they didn't do well, and that was takeaways.
Andrew, as we say goodbye, you look at the division as a whole. Obviously, Denver, the defending champion. The Chargers on paper look like they're going to be pretty good. If Mahomes is healthy, they add Kenneth Walker. We know Kansas City will be there. It does appear to be a rebuild in Las Vegas. But what is your thought on the division and where Denver stands in it heading into the year?
I mean, I'd say right now they're the co-favorites with the Chargers. I think you could kind of flip a coin between the two of them. The Chiefs, even though they do get Mahomes back, they do get Kenneth Walker. You look at them, trading Trent McDuffie and really kind of resetting the secondary a little bit. And I think long term it's going to work out for them, but I think you might have some growing pains out there. So I kind of look at I look at all three as potential playoff teams. But the Chiefs probably in a little bit of a transition year, kind of going midway through the Patrick Mahomes era. That certainly they're looking at hopefully getting another decade or so out of their quarterback, much the way that we've seen other elite quarterbacks go for a long time. And the Chiefs kind of shuffling the deck on the secondary, especially. So I can see the Chiefs as a wild card team, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to the Chargers and Broncos battling it out for the division title. And they do play a Week 18 game in Denver. Last year, it meant something to the Broncos. Didn't mean anything for the Chargers. They were locked into their seed. Maybe this year, Week 18, Broncos-Chargers actually ends up being that sort of winner-take-all division title type of game that NBC in particular would love for Sunday Night Football, perhaps.
Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver, denversports.com. Andrew, as always, thank you for the time. You and I will talk in about 2.5 months when the Jaguars head out to Mile High, Week 2 of the NFL regular season. Thank you as always, my friend.
No problem. Take care. I've got that game circled. It's going to be a big one out here in Denver.
And thank you to Andrew Mason, Denver Sports 104.3 and denversports.com for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. As that wraps up our AFC West preview. It was fast, it was furious this week, only being on the air 2 days. Last night we talked with the Chargers and the Chiefs. Tonight it was all about the Raiders and the Broncos and what appears to be a very competitive AFC West. I mean, you could legit make the argument that Denver, LA, and Kansas City could all win the division in 2026. I think Las Vegas, although on paper their defense looks pretty good if Max Crosby remains, I think you have to think Las Vegas is still probably a year or two away, but what should be a very, very competitive division in the AFC West. So we certainly spent some time on that, spent some time on the Jacksonville Jaguars as we head in to the 4th of July weekend. The Jaguars start training camp later this month. The rookies report on July the 25th. The veterans come in on July the 28th, and then one would think their first practice will be July 29th down at the Miller Electric Center. And then obviously a majority of our conversation tonight was about the FIFA World Cup and the United States men's soccer team coming off that win over Bosnia last night in the round of 32, only the second knockout win for U.S. men's soccer in FIFA World Cup history. That gets them a date on Monday night with Belgium, 8 o'clock. Of course, Balogun will not be playing due to the red card last night. Christian Pulisic, guys of that sort are going to have to step up. But the USA and Belgium, Monday night, 8 o'clock, obviously right during our show, so it should be a fun time here on Monday night. Can the United States do it again and reach only the second quarterfinal ever of a FIFA World Cup in U.S. men's soccer history? Of course, Belgium knocked them out of the round of 16 back in 2014. Here we are 12 years later. Is it going to be 12 years worth of revenge on Monday night in Seattle in what should be an unbelievable atmosphere out there in the great Northwest. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very, very busy Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. And we do have a ton of people to thank. And Andrew Mason, 104.3 in Denver. Thank you to Adam Hill of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He's our guy when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. Appreciate Adam joining us tonight. Then back in hour number one, my buddy JJ LaSelva. You hear him every day as part of XL Primetime and the Frangie Show. And, of course, JJ is the host of the 1010XL Soccer Show. He's done a terrific job with that program on the 1010XL social media platforms, and we certainly appreciate JJ for joining us tonight as well. Off tomorrow, and obviously over the weekend for 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everybody. We'll be back next week for a little double duty here. We'll be on Hacker After Dark, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I'll also be on alongside Hayes Carline on the Frangie Show from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So both 4 to 6 and 8 to 10 next week, and we certainly are looking forward to that. Jared Justice was your producer tonight. Jared, great job as always. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Thursday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have a terrific remainder of your Thursday evening and a fantastic 4th of July weekend. And we'll be right back here Monday night at 8 o'clock for Hacker After Dark. And again, I'll be alongside Hayes Carline on the Frangie Show at 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
So, what did Dan Hicken do before 1010XL?
You were the team mascot for 2 seasons.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are the drill.
I swear I could have had a career as a Hollywood stuntman.
Mornings on 1010XL. Duval all day. Search 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube.
It's almost time to kick off the 2026 season at the bank. Whether you want to be at the center of it all as a season ticket member, lock in 3 or more games with a bundle at the bank, or cheer on the Jags at your